Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We are studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic I have chosen the play of three gunas. We are all in the realm of Maya. Maya means illusion, invisible force, invisible power. This whole creation is made up of three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. So every being in this universe is possessed of these three qualities, and the person behaves according to the predominance of the gunas which he possesses. So Maya has been described as Trigunatmaka. So this universe is called Trigunatmaka Jagat. We are all bound by these gunas. But then, in order to realize the ultimate truth, in order to have Atyantika Mukti, one has to go beyond these three gunas. So one should become Gunatitaha. First of all, you must understand how these three gunas operate in every one of us, how we are deeply influenced by these gunas. So the point is, which guna drags down, which guna takes us upwards, which guna makes us dull and inactive. These three gunas are given to us by the invisible power. Why? To play the game in the world. We are all here to play game. If you know this, then you will really understand the meaning of life. So, as long as we are under the grip of these three gunas, not properly cultivated, we will be passing through fire of pain and pleasure, pain and suffering, miseries in the world. The pleasure in the world is also some kind of pain. Anyway, in the unmanifested universe, energy has three qualities known as gunas that exist together in equilibrium. They are sattva, rajas and tamas. Sattva stands for purity, rajas stands for activity, passion, the process of change, and tamas stands for darkness, inertia. So once energy takes form, one quality of the three predominates. For example, on an apple tree, some of the fruit is ripe, that is sattvic. Some is the process of ripening, that is Rajasic, and some overripe, that is Tamasic. But no matter which quality prevails, an element of each of the other two will always be present as well. Most of an individual apple will be ripe, but part of it will be rotten, even if the naked eye cannot see it. And part will be in the process of changing from one state to the other. The three gunas encompass all existence, all actions. Suppose a man commits a robbery. The action is basically Rajasic, but the decision to rob and the motive may be predominantly Tamasic, Rajasic or Sattvic according to the situation. In all people, one of the three gunas has superior strength and is reflected in all they do and think. Only in enlightenment are the gunas completely transcended. The gunas can be found in all beings and objects surrounding us. The aspirant who wants to move in the spiritual path, who wants to rise up from the samsara, the cycle of birth and death, always exerts to increase sattva in lifestyle. One of the most dramatic changes that can be made is adjusting our diet. So in spiritual life also, diet plays very important role. The yogic system of nutrition recognizes three types of food. One is sattvic food. Lord Krishna has also said in the Bhagavad Gita about the food which is sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Sattvic food is considered the purest diet, the most suitable one for any serious student practicing yoga. That means practicing spiritual life. It nourishes the body and maintains it in a peaceful state. And it calms and purifies the mind, enabling it to function at its maximum potential. A sattvic diet thus leads to true health, a peaceful mind in control of a fit body with a balanced flow of energy between them. Sattvic foods generally include cereals, wholemeal bread, fresh fruit and vegetables, fruit juices, milk, butter, etc. Rajasic food that are very hot, bitter, sour, dry or salty, they are considered Rajasic. They tend to destroy the mind-body equilibrium, feeding the body at the expense of the mind. Too much Rajasic food will overstimulate the body and excite the passions, making the mind restless and uncontrollable. Rajasic foods include hot substances such as sharp spices or strong herbs, stimulants, etc. Eating in a hurry is also considered Rajasic. A tamasic diet benefits neither the mind nor the body. Prana or energy is withdrawn, powers of reasoning become clouded, and a sense of inertia sets in. The body's resistance to disease is destroyed, and the mind filled with dark emotions such as anger and greed. Tamasic items include meat, alcohol, fermented foods, stale or overripe substances. Overeating is also regarded as tamasic. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, it deals with these three gunas very nicely. Sattvam rajastamiti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabhaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Sattva or calmness and goodness, rajas or activity and passion, and tamas, inertia and laziness. These three gunas or states of mind bind the imperishable Atman to the body. Gunaneta natityattrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhair vimukto mritamshnute. When one rises above the three gunas, laziness, activity and calmness that originate in the body, one is freed from birth, old age, disease and death, and at times nirvana. Manapamanayo stulyoho mitrari pakshiyoho sarvarmpa prityagi gunatitasya uchyate. The one who is indifferent to honor and disgrace, who is the same to friend and foe, who has renounced the sense of ownership and doership, they are said to have risen above the gunas and attained nirvana. Sattva, the goodness, is the topmost rung of the ladder leading to the roof of the truth. It is not the truth as such. One can rise above the gunas and reach the top of the roof with the two wings of faith and devotion. Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, under the spell of God's Maya, one forgets one's true nature. He forgets that he is heir to the infinite glories of his Father. This divine Maya is made up of three gunas, and Sri Ramakrishna classifies them. Who are they talking? Sri Ramakrishna is classifying them as robbers. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, all these are robbers. For they rob man of all his treasures and make him forget his true nature. The three gunas are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Of these, Sattva alone points the way to God. But, Sri Ramakrishna says, even Sattva cannot take a man to God. In order to illustrate this point, Sri Ramakrishna tells a story. Once a rich man was passing through a forest when three robbers surrounded him and robbed him of all his wealth. After snatching all his possessions from him, one of the robbers said, "What's the good of keeping the man alive? Kill him." Saying this, he was about to strike their victim with his sword when the second robber interrupted and said, "What's the use of killing him? Let us bind him fast and leave him here. Then he won't be able to tell the police. He won't be able to call number 911. Accordingly, the robbers tied him with a rope, left him and went away. After a while, the third robber returned to the rich man and said, "Oh, you are badly hurt, aren't you? Come, I am going to release you." The third robber set the man free and led him out of the forest. When they came near the highway, the robber said, "Sir, follow this road, you will reach home easily." The rich man was highly thankful to this robber who led him out of the forest. So he said, Well, please, you must also come with me. I want to give a good treat to you. You have done so much for me. We shall be very happy to see you at our home. When the rich man said like that, "No, sir," said the robber. "It is not possible for me to go there because the police will arrest me." So saying, he left the rich man after pointing out his way. Beautiful story. Now, the first robber who said, "What's the good of keeping the man alive? Kill him." He is tamas. It destroys. The second robber is rajas, which binds a man to the world and entangles him in a variety of activities. Rajas makes him forget God. Lots of people say, "Oh, we don't have any time. Morning to night we are so busy. By the time I return from work I am exhausted. Simply a drop on the bed." True. But where is the time to think of God? The mind is not in a state of thinking. It has exhausted its energy. So, Rajas makes one forget God. Sattva alone shows the way to God. It produces virtues like compassion, righteousness, and devotion. They are very important to pursue spiritual path. But again, Sattva is like the last step of the stairs. Next to it is the roof. The Supreme Brahman is man's own abode. One cannot attain the knowledge of Brahman unless one transcends the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So, it is very important to know this fact. How we are being cheated by our own gunas. How we are careless about cultivating Sattva, which lead us to the abode of truth. Our consciousness is made up of thinking, past and present. Now we can understand that in addition to thinking, there is also a law of association which comes into play. And the quality of the association influences the quality of our mind. For example, if we associate with people whose qualities of misery, anxiety, jealousy, etc. are predominant, then our mind also will absorb those qualities, and eventually we will also become the same. Jealousy, hatred, misery, and all sorts of things. So now an important distinction is evident. Not only is our consciousness made up of how we think, but the quality of our consciousness also depends upon the quality of the subject on which we are thinking. And the quality of consciousness determines how we feel about ourselves. It affects the decisions we make, which in turn influences our present and future. The Vedic literature explains that the individual consciousness is made up of three qualities combined. These qualities are called gunas, and they bind the soul to the wheel of birth and death. They correspond to the colors white, red and black. White signifies peacefulness, spirituality, harmony, kindness, etc. And it is known as Sattva Guna. So color code, Sattva Guna is white. Red signifies passion, activity and desire for name, power, position, success. Always ambitious. And such a person is known as person of Rajagun. So, red color signifies Rajagun. You can see when a man is terribly angry, his red face becomes automatically red. Black signifies violence, inertia, laziness, negativism, evil, etc. All of us, at all times, embody within ourselves these three qualities. No one is exempt. However, the percentage of manifestation varies not only from person to person, but within the individual, him or herself. For example, at any given time, a person may manifest 50% white, 30% red, and 20% black. Then just a few minutes later, these percentages may have shifted to 23% white, 60% red, and 17% black. This accounts for the mood shifts we often experience. Morning you are in one different mood, after some time we are in another mood, noon time still another mood, varieties of moods. So in certain people, these moods are very predominant. You can easily make out such a moody person. So our actions are depending upon our moods. We can witness such dramatic changes within yourself. For example, suppose you are standing in a queue to buy a ticket for the movie. You may be feeling peaceful and happy. But suppose someone violently shoves you out of the line and tells you to get to the back since they have decided to take your place. What happens to your peacefulness now? It quickly evaporates, and instead you may become enraged or fearful. Similarly, throughout the day, we experience variations in our attitudes. These shifts either stem from a natural change of the gunas internally, or the change is stimulated by external events. Sometimes people are moved by the mob psychology. So they also behave like a mob. It's called mob mentality. The main thing to understand is that we each embody these three qualities, but their strength continuously varies within ourselves. The spiritual masters teach us that it is a mean average of these three qualities which make up an individual's personality. In other words, if it were possible to measure the shifts of the percentage of these three qualities in combination over, say, 1 year, we could then find the average. That average could be determined as the usual personality of the individual. When describing a person, we say, oh, he is a gentle, kind man, or he is a shocker, full of violence, anger, etc. But we know that even a gentleman can be violent, and that a violent man can sometimes be gentle. This is all due to a shift in the gunas, which are influenced by our past and by what we are doing with our mind in the present. Now for the main point, when we become emotionally involved with another person, we absorb their qualities of consciousness. That is, whatever their average percentage of the three gunas may be. The deeper the emotional attachment for another person, the greater is the absorption of their qualities. For example, if you love a person and he or she is kind-hearted, then that quality would rub off on you. If he or she is a liar and cheat, etc., then by constantly thinking about him or her, you are in danger of losing your morality too. The masters, saints and sages of the world advise that we are on a divine quest. seeking to embody the qualities of selflessness, pure love, compassion and wisdom, which are synonymous with God and realized masters alone. If we wish to embody these qualities in ourselves and realize our full potential, we must learn to associate our mind, that is to say, meditate on the subject who has these qualities, that is, God and a true spiritual master. That's why we always say to focus on the divine form, so that by constantly thinking of the divine form, you imbibe the qualities of that divine. God and realized saints are beyond the three gunas. What I said earlier, gunatita state. That is, they are beyond white, red and black. We are not divine yet. Why? Because we are governed by the gunas. To deeply think on God ensures liberation and experience of the divine qualities. This is the reason why the spiritual teachers and scripture advise us to meditate on God. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, meditate on me, merge your mind in me, let your understanding be in me, love me, and you will surely come to me. When one accepts entry into the game as a player, awareness of unity is lost in the obsession of play, that is, in the fascination of play. We can see many times if you watch the games, soccer game or baseball game, they know they are playing, but they are very mad because they are so identified with the game, they are not aware of anything else. So this taking over of consciousness is the fun of the play. The one becomes many to play a game of cosmic hide and seek with itself. The one is reality. Ekameva dvitiyam. Multiplicity is illusion. This illusion of multiplicity is created by the veiling power of the One, the Supreme Consciousness. This veiling power is called Maya Shakti or Maya. This veiling power creates the illusion of me and mine, or thee and thine, which creates ignorance in the individual consciousness. Ignorance is called as avidya, that is, absence of knowledge. So Maya is also called avidya by yogis. This ignorance comes to individual consciousness through the mind. That's why yoga is a practical device to stop the modifications of mind. And yoga's aim is to arrest mind, to stop the inner dialogue, to go beyond the mind, to realize one's true nature beyond the illusion of me and mine. The world of names and forms is Maya. This illusion can be seen at every level. The human body itself is not a unit of existence, but is composed of countless numbers of cells and mini cells. If each cell starts growing a sense of me and mine, each human body will become a subcontinent. It is the individual ego, ahankar, which creates separate units of existence. But this is itself is Maya. Ego cannot function without mind, as mind cannot without sense organs. So it's only after the mind is brought to a suppressed state that the sense of me and mine can be completely annihilated. By yoga alone can this state be achieved, and an end brought to this illusory sense of being an independent unit. After realization of truth, through a direct experience of reality in samadhi, Maya Shakti can be understood, and the human psychodrama can be observed as divine play, as Leela. Maya Shakti is a power which brings forth the evolution of the phenomenal world. It makes this possible by interplay of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Cosmic consciousness becomes individual consciousness by its own Maya. This diversity in unity is illusion and is caused by the veiling power of the Supreme Consciousness. All that the player perceives of the phenomenal world exists within himself. Two comes into being when one repeats itself. Two is Maya because both were present in the one. The two are the eternal and the external world, the unmanifested and the manifested. Shiva and Shakti, male and female, sun and moon, gross and subtle, absolute and Maya, immanent and phenomenon. Two is therefore the number of Maya or illusion, the universal play of cosmic energy. The three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, they are qualities within your personality and you can change them. Our personality and our mind are governed by these gunas. Rajas gives movement to sattva and tamas. They are alive because of rajas. Sometimes rajas or tamas is dominant in us. Sattva doesn't stay for a long time. When sattva is dominant, we make good decisions and lots of commitments. Then tamas takes over and we don't follow through our good intentions. With too much rajas, we are too active, have too much hyper energy. Rajas has to be brought into control so you are not all over the place, scattered mind. When dominated by tamas, you are dull with no inclination, no self-respect, no divinity, no confidence, full of inertia, tiredness and sloth. When the mind is black, you don't know what to do. That is tamas. Sattva is light. When sattva is dominant, you know what is right and wrong and you live with your commitments. You are always aware not to let rajas or tamas take over. You balance inclination to dharma, spirituality and obligations with right attitude is sattva. There are ways to create sattva. Swadhyaya, study of the self, yoga practice, pranayama, mantra, meditation. All these remove tamas. We have prana because we eat. Food has a great role in our life. Yoga science talks a great deal about food. What kind of food should you eat if you are on the path of spirituality, of self-realization? Food is also sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. So, one has to be careful in taking right type of food. Silence is critical. Pay attention when you eat. The state of mind in which you eat makes a difference. The awareness with which you chew your food makes a difference. You need the right atmosphere and environment in which you cook the food and eat the food. Prayer helps to create the sattvic guna. With the same frame of mind, you offer the food to the Lord and then you take prasad. With awareness, you can take away the negative energy to a great degree. You are eating with the awareness that it came from the Lord because you offered it to the Lord. Don't have discussion or gossip or anger while you are eating. According to yoga and Ayurveda, when you eat your food, make sure your right nostril is open. That makes a difference in the digestive system. Sit straight and open your right nostril before you eat. The solar energy in the right nostril and right side of the body will help you digest your food easily. Opening the right nostril is also good when working on a project. Your mind is kept one-pointed and centered when the right nostril is open. These are simple observances that one should do. You can create a conducive environment to your sadhana, your path, your spirituality. So, we have to be very serious and sincere about practicing spiritual teachings and try to cultivate more and more the sattvic qualities. In the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we come across detailed description of how men with these three qualities act and behave differently and engage themselves in different religious and spiritual activities. The purpose of such an elaborate description of these three qualities in the Gita is not to encourage us to become sattvic or eliminate other qualities. The gunas, whether it is sattvic or rajasic or tamasic, are part of Prakriti and are responsible for our illusion and all suffering on earth. The Gita therefore aims to make us free from these qualities completely by making us clearly understand the nature of these qualities and how they tend to keep us in bondage and illusion. Even the cultivation of sattva is not an end in itself. It is only the means to overcome passion and ignorance and thereby achieve self-realization through the purity of the mind and the heart. One should forget that it actually binds us to the mortal world through its tendency to attach itself to happiness and knowledge. One should not forget that it actually binds us to mortal world. It is but an instrument of Prakriti intended to serve its purpose by keeping us chained to the earthly life under the sovereign control of its false master. Hence one should go beyond these three gunas and attain immortality and freedom from birth and death, old age and sorrow. So, if we understand the play of these three gunas in our life, we can monitor properly and become aware of where we stand and how to move. So the immediate task should be to rise up to sattvic level and then go beyond that. Because sattvic is also one of the robber, as Sri Ramakrishna has said. So you must get rid of all these three robbers, then only you are free. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, page 968. As Sri Ramakrishna heard the line, contemplating day and night the absolute Brahman, he said in a very low voice, "Ah." Then, by a sign, he said to the devotees, "This is the characteristic of the yogi." Narendra finished the hymn, witnessing the changes of mind and body, not but the self within him beholding, thinking not of outer, of inner, or of middle, blessed indeed is the wearer of the lion cloth. Chanting Brahman, the world of redemption, meditating only on I am Brahman, living on alms and wandering freely, blessed indeed is the wearer of the lion cloth. Again Narendra sang, meditate on him, the perfect, the embodiment of bliss. Meditate on him, the formless, the root of the universe, the hearer behind the ear, the thinker behind the mind, the speaker behind the tongue, himself beyond all words. He is the life of life, the ultimate, the adorable. Master said to Narendra, and that one, all that exists art thou. Narendra sang, I have joined my heart to thee, all that exists art thou. Thee only have I found, for thou art all that exists. O Lord, beloved of my heart, thou art the home of all. Where indeed is the heart in which thou doesn't dwell? Thou hast entered every heart, all that exists art thou. Whether sage or fool, whether Hindu or Mussulman, thou makest them as thou wilt, all that exists art thou. Thy presence is everywhere, whether in heaven or in Kaaba, before thee all must bow, for thou art all that exists. From earth below to the highest heaven, from heaven to deepest earth, I see thee, wherever I look, all that exists art thou. Pondering I have understood, I have seen it beyond a doubt, I find not a single thing that may be compared to thee. To Jafar it has been revealed that thou art all that exists. As the Master listened to the line, thou hast entered every heart, he said by a sign, God dwells in everybody's heart. He is the inner guide. As Narendra sang the line, I see thee, wherever I look, all that exists art thou, Hirananda said to him, "Yes, all that exists art thou. Now you say, thou, thou, not I, but thou." Narendra said, "Give me a 1 and I will give you 1,000,000. Thou art I am thou. Nothing exists but I." Narendra recited a few verses from the Ashtavakra Samhita. The room again became silent. Master said to Narendra, pointing to Narendra, "He seems to be walking with an unsheathed sword in his hand." To M, pointing to Hirananda, Sri Ramakrishna said, "How quiet, like a cobra, quiet before the charmer, with its hood spread." Sri Ramakrishna fell into an inward mood. Hirananda and M were seated near him. There was complete silence in the room. The master's body was being racked with indescribable pain. The devotees could not bear the sight of this illness, but somehow the master made them forget his suffering. He sat there, his face beaming, as if there were no trace of illness in his throat. I shall stop here. To cultivate more and more sattva guna, calmness, peacefulness, and then go beyond that guna also to have the final liberation. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, we who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, and my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stillest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, but Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed others make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.